Good morning. This is TCR, TroyCommunityRadio.com. I'm Clint Myers on 107.1 WTJN for David Denoyer on TCTV. It's time now for the Mayor's Report, and with me, Mayor Michael Beamish. Good morning.
Well, good morning, Clint. Good morning, David, and good morning, all the listeners in the area.
Glad to have you in the studio this morning. We're starting to look very fall festive downtown.
We sure are getting into the fall spirit, and that always leads to the illumination ceremony that'll take place at the end of November. We'll talk about that in a minute, but boy, you're right. The color of the leaves are changing. It's a beautiful time of the year, unless you are not really excited about raking or blowing leaves, because they are falling like crazy.
They are coming down pretty good now.
And we are in round two of our leaf collection process, and it always you and I always remind everybody a couple things: separate the leaves from the sticks. That's number one. Number two, when you move the leaves out, leave a little channel for the water. In the event that we have rain, it goes into the storm sewer. Keep that clean so that the water drains off and you don't have backups.
And if you've got one of the storm drains in front of your house, take extra notice to make sure that there isn't a buildup of leaves that collects there, just that come washing in once we've had a rain, just to make sure we don't get a clog.
You know, it's that time of year, and with the wind and everything, it's easy for that to get clogged up. So everybody helps a little. Things move smoothly. Obviously, our leaf collection, round two, we're heading this week into that. So we'll go through the zones of Troy, and we'll go through a round three again, because these leaves are still stuck on the trees, and they're still wanting to hold off. But fall is here, and that means time to pick up the leaves.
Well, we still do have a couple trees here in downtown that have just been hanging on for dear life, that are still have a lot of green in them.
That's true, but it's nice to look at the season, the colors, and it's just a beautiful time. And downtown always is a nice look. And as we speak today, they're starting to build the box for the Christmas tree. And if I might tell everybody that Christmas tree has been donated. It's going to be donated locally by Roger Adams. He lives on Glendale Avenue. It'll be a blue spruce, and as all trees are, it'll be a beautiful tree, I'm sure. I want to thank Piqua Steel, because they always have helped provide the transfer from the residents to downtown. We are looking at probably the third week of November that will start to decorate the tree. I believe you'll start to see sometime around November the 9th to see that tree. So I'm sure the media will pick up on that. We'll have better information. But sometime between November 9th through the 13th, we'll see the tree move down, set up, and with the help of DP&L, Piqua Steel, our parks department, we'll have that placed. And big dedication, tree lighting, November 27th. That's a Friday.
Well, I know the Parks Department gives us a heads up here at the radio station in the morning. They did let me know that they were bringing down the box and that they were going to have some extra vehicles out on the square. So just use caution and know that they are putting up lights and decorating, so that there could be some extra city trucks downtown, the bucket trucks, and just be aware of that. Go a little slow.
And our electricians are out putting the lights on the trees. So, you know, just imagine get a visual image of what it's going to be like when we have the illumination ceremony, and then through the Christmas season, the holiday season. It'll be just a beautiful sight to be downtown.
I somehow envision you in the attic of the city building getting out the shoe boxes and the big ornaments.
Well, you know, this year you may see something a little different. You know, we lost a lot of ornaments last year through the wind, and so we're going to add a little more lights to the tree.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be a different look. It just adds a little flavor to what the illumination ceremony is going to be. And I know Main Street is really preparing some neat events that are going to take place through that day and through the Christmas season. So it's going to be a lively place to be in downtown Troy this Christmas season.
I know
Season.
one of the things that's going to be added this year is something that I remember from my childhood, and that is that there's going to be a Santa house downtown that the kids can come see Santa.
It's my understanding Denlinger builders are preparing that Santa house for Santa, and when Santa arrives, they'll have a home for
a brand new home.
That's true, and they'll be on Proudy Plaza. There's lots of other activities going to take place. So it's an exciting time of the year. The fall leaf changing, that process, the placement of the Christmas tree, the hoopla of the season.
The hoopla of the season. I gotta say, I love all the hoopla with the weather right now because we've had another nice week in the lower 70s while all this is getting set up. So that beats being up in the bucket truck when it's 29 degrees and sleeting on you.
November. We have all kinds of weather, but I will have to say it's been a very good fall season to get out and about.
For sure. Good time to get out in the yard and get things raked up. You had council this week.
We did have council. We had 8 members of council present for the November 2nd meeting, and we had a number of items to discuss, all resolutions, no ordinances on the docket for this council meeting, but we did talk about the bidding concessions. It's time now for the operations of the Paul G. Duke Park. We have 2 bids going to be taking place, one for the softball area concessions, and then one for the Little League concessions, and Little League football. And they're 2-year contracts, and there's an extension, 1-year extensions that can be added to that. But it's time now for bids to take place, and council will certainly approve that. So we'll be bidding out the concessions at the Duke Park. We also had a resolution for legal services, Labor Council. We have 6 bargaining units up for negotiations this year, and we've had the firm of Denlinger, Rosenthal, and Greenberg for a number of years. And so, but we asked them, that's their expertise, to work with negotiations. And so council approved using their services and entering into agreement with them. We also had looking in downtown, a CDBG project that's taking place on 121 Public Square. Everybody drives downtown, knows where that is. The bids that we originally had thought it would be up to $65,000. It's coming in closer to $70,000, so we have a $5,000 difference. We do have money in the CDBG funds. That's not general funds. That's specific funds, community block grant development funds.
Okay.
And so that money had to be reappropriated for the additional $5,000, and you had to do that by the year's end. Plus, we wanted to keep the work moving forward, so it was an emergency piece of legislation that council passed 8-0.
And you got to take advantage of weather that's been nice
God,
that they're working on it.
And then the final resolution that we had deals with the new Hughes Camp farm coming into Troy to be used in conjunction with Duke Park. It kind of runs in right next to Duke Park, so it'll enhance our recreational opportunities. But we've had a lot of donations for that. But one of the things is a real estate purchase option agreement with the Miami Board of Park Commissioners and Miami County Park Commissioners and the district there to purchase some 38 acres that would be used as, I guess, passive recreational purposes.
Okay.
It's along the river area, and the Miami County Park District is very interested in that piece. It won't affect what we have planned for the recreational side of things, but it'll be a passive recreational opportunity for people in that area. And so we wanted to give them an option to purchase that, which I think is going to happen. And so is an emergency piece of legislation, again, to move things forward with the season and time of the year. So that passed 8-0. So those were our 5 resolutions, pretty routine. Next council meeting, we'll probably be discussing the new state requirements for income tax collections. That's kind of just the policies, the procedures on how to go about collecting, and that'll come up. That'll come up at the November 16th council meeting. And that most likely will be emergency legislation, since we have an effective date with the new state laws that are in place of January 1 of 16. So we have to kind of move forward with that. To do nothing was not an option. We have to follow what the requirements are.
No, follow to the letter of the law.
That's a good way to say it. So that'll be something to look at the next council meeting on November 16th. We've covered a lot of things, Clint.
Yeah, and while you're saying that, for the next council meeting, of course, council meetings are always open to the public.
Always.
Folks are welcome to come in, and if you can't make it out, you can watch it online at troyohio.gov.
Right.
And just click on the link, and you're right in the chambers.
You see us all those there. And so, but I have to again say, a lot of people, our council works very diligently, and they're very prudent. They do their homework. They care. And a lot of people don't realize these are people, they live, work, and play in our community. So the decisions that they make are reflective also on them as well.
Right.
So I always give a shout out to them for volunteering their services to run for the elected positions, and to do their due diligence to move our city forward, not backward.
All right. You had mentioned something before we started recording about inductees into the Hall of Fame.
Well, this past week we had a wonderful opportunity. There's so many great people doing great things to not only enhance our community, but the ripple effect goes out beyond to the region, state, national. And we had 6 inductees this past Sunday at the Hainer Cultural Center. And people that we all know, heard their names, the Bill Lukens, Joel Walker, Bob and Joan Heidelberg, Dr. Dick Adams, Richard Adams, Dave Shalosky. These are all people who have made contributions of their time, their talent, many things, their treasures, to enhance our community, but also represent our community in outreach as well. Many of them are coming from different walks of life, from the business sector, from the educational sector, from state legislator sector, from a journalist point of view. Joel Walker, who is the founding father of the Troy Hall of Fame, and also a longtime golf enthusiast, and also with the TDN for years and years. So all these folks are certainly well deserving of honors. The Heidelbergs, Bruckner Nature Center, what that has become in this region. So we have good inductees along with others. I know the Robinsons were there to show their support. They are inducted. They are in the Troy Hall of Fame. The Hobarts, Bill and Julia Hobart, were there, and again, they are in the Hall of Fame as well. So people come back. It was a big turnout to show their support for the newest 6 inductees into the Troy Hall of Fame.
Congratulations to them, and thank you for what you do for our city.
Well, thank you, Clint and David. Appreciate what you do to promote our great community.
Anything else you'd like to add in this morning as we wrap up?
I think we've covered a lot of things. Let's just hope the weather continues and that we keep moving forward as we head into the Christmas holiday season.
Absolutely. I'll take the weather that we've been having here in the lower 70s, and maybe for the grand illumination and Christmas, we could have some snow. The rest of the time, I'm happy if we stay in the lower 70s.
I'm still holding off getting out my winter coat yet, so we'll see.
All right. Thank you so much, Mayor. This has been the Mayor's Report with Mayor Michael Beamish. I'm Clint Myers on 107.1 WTJN, For David Denoyer on TCTV.